Do you like my little setup? I hope you do because you're gonna be seeing it a lot more often. I recently did a poll on my Instagram asking if people were fond of Jinn stories, and the majority voted yes, and they want to hear Jinn stories, which is perfect because I'm passionate about horror stories, horror movies in general, and I have a lot of stories to tell you guys. Since it's the last few days of Ramadan and these days are the holiest days of the year, I feel like most people are comfortable like hearing like Jinn stories. A lot of people don't even like saying the word Jinn. It's because if people are new to this, if you say Jinn, they'll hear like, oh my god, they're talking about us, and then they're gonna come and listen in. And you don't want to be talking shit about these jinns. They're gonna probably plot revenge on you, and that's why people don't really like listening to them. But it is still Ramadan, the last few days. Let's go. Okay, I have a lot of stories to tell. Today we're gonna tell a story that my uncle experienced. So this is my uncle's experience, okay? Okay, so this takes place at my grandma's place in Bangladesh, and she lives in not in a rural area, but this used to be the old capital city. So this is Purantaka, okay? And there's a huge mosque there, and that mosque used to be owned by my grandpa, and that's why my grandma lived like right in the backyard of the mosque. So in my grandma's backyard was the mosque. My grandma got two fish from some lady, like a neighbor or a friend, and those were pretty big fish. So she was like telling my uncle, hey, I'm not gonna finish both these fish, so why don't we just give one to our neighbors? And to get to the neighbor's house, you'd have to go through the backyard, through the mosque, and then to the neighbor's house, right? So she tasked my uncle to take the fish and give it to the neighbor. And by this time, it was already sundown, but he didn't really care. Nothing really happened usually. So he took the fish and he passed the porch, past the bathroom stalls, and headed towards the woods where he'd have to pass to go to the neighbors, right? So as he was walking down the path, he saw a figure inside the woods, not on the path to the woods, but inside the woods. And he saw that it was a student, and the student, he had his hand out like this. And my uncle thought, oh my god, it's just, he just thought it was a silly student asking for the fish. And he was like, nah, I'm not gonna get the fish, obviously. So he walked towards the neighbor's house. And when he sorry, that's my brother. But when he reached the neighbor's house, the neighbor wanted to keep him around, like give him cookies or whatever. And so he stayed there for a little while. By the time that he headed out, it was already dark. So when he headed out, he had to pass the woods again, and then he'd have to pass the bathroom stalls, and then he'd reach my grandma's house, right? So he started walking out, and he walked the path to the woods, and towards the end of the wood clearing, he saw another figure. And when he looked at the figure, he realized that it was the student again, and the student was standing closer to the path, and he had his hand out like this. And that's when my uncle realized like the student wouldn't be standing there for a long time. What would the student be doing? Like some time had passed and he was still there. So that's when he like realized that it was a Jinn. What he did was he didn't run because he knew if he ran that it would chase after him. So he calmed himself down. He started reading his surahs, his du'as, and he calmly walked past the student. He didn't make eye contact or anything, and he could feel the student's like breath on his neck, even though the student was supposedly still standing there, and my uncle felt like a burning sensation on his body, like the student was close, right? So as soon as he passed the bathroom stalls and he reached my grandma's porch, he bolted to my grandma and told her everything. And so, they prayed, they, did some chants, and she was like, you're safe here, because, he was inside. I feel like this type of stuff is really common in Bangladesh. I hear a lot of stories of this stuff happening, especially to my family members, or anytime I see like an adult, like a Bengali adult, I'm like, do you have any Jinn stories to tell me? Like the little kid that I am. But they always end up telling me like their creepy experiences. And so yeah, I might tell more in the future, so look out for those. that's all I have for you guys today, and make sure to like so you can come back to it and maybe tell me some of your experiences, and subscribe. I know I'm still a noob to be asking for subscribers, but I would really appreciate it, and trust me, the quality of my videos will get better and I will tell a lot more stories. Maybe I'll make like a compilation or something like that. And ooh, I could also do like informative videos about jinns. I feel like you guys would like that a lot. But yeah,